crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of tea. Although, I have an announcement tonight. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day, and I am going live with Paige. My daughter Paige and I will be doing a live Word Wednesday, 12:30 Pacific time. And it's going to be all things Theta. So Paige on her Instagram got people to put in Q&As for today, and she said there's a ton of them. I don't even know what they are, so she's going to be quizzing me on that. And we're going to do it live on St. Patty's Day. But I do plan on having myself a beer, and so I'm breaking the cleanse at mid-juice week. It's been fun. I feel healthy. So, yeah, I almost made it. But I always knew St. Patty's Day being part Irish, I wasn't going to make it through that. So I'm looking forward to it. Paige is coming over in a couple hours. So make sure you tune in Road to Ruta, 12:30 Pacific time if you're interested in hanging out with me and Paige. I think we're going to do it on the porch. We're staying down here. And it's going to be fun. And we're going to talk about Theta, which is always fun for Road to Ruta people. No, you're not too late to get into Theta. Yes, it's difficult to do. Pretty soon it won't be difficult to get Theta. At some point, one of the U.S. approved exchanges will be adding Theta. I don't know. It might not be Coinbase. It might be Kraken. It might be Gemini. I don't know which group entity is smarter than the other. But if they were smart, they should already have it up and running. They would do massive amounts of business, and they would get all kinds of new customers. If you know anybody at any of those exchanges, give them a heads up. Say, what the hell are you doing? It is time to introduce Theta to the American population. That's my take. But, yeah. And I do want to point out that Theta is about to take over the spot of one of the most ridiculous cryptocurrencies in the industry, Dogecoin. Dogecoin. Even the founders like, I have no idea. It's turned into a meme. There are currently in circulation, what is that? 128 billion tokens. Is that billion? Yeah. It was created as a joke coin, and now it's trading at 5 cents per coin. I don't even know what to say these days about the insanity of valuation. The insanity of valuation. But hey, it is what it is, right? It's going to be a good day when Theta blows by Dogecoin. It'll be a good day when Theta blows by Ethereum, because yesterday I had to do an Ethereum transaction. It wasn't even on Ethereum. It was a different crypto, but it uses the Ethereum blockchain smart contract. It cost me $7 to send a token that was worth less than $10. Clearly, Ethereum is broken. Yes, Theta can blow by it at any moment. So hang on to your hats with Theta. Also, Theta Fuel. Many uses for Theta Fuel as well. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Okay, let's talk about silver, though. I'm like, okay, I said the other day, yeah, when you're between delivery months, nothing really happens. They have full control, they being the people who rigged the price of silver. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citibank, Scotiabank. I'll show all the names in a second. We know who they are. We know that the U.S. government is complicit and compliant in allowing this to happen. The CFTC should be disbanded. They have a budget. I think it's $120 million of budget. Why do we even? What a waste of funds. You know those those old sayings. Yeah, the military will like put a line item. $400 for a hammer. $600 for a nail. Things like that, just to hide it in the budget. This is out in full view, a scam in full view. The budget of the CFTC is a scam in full view. If they're not going to do their jobs, why are they there? Why did it take the Department of Justice to come down on JP Morgan when it was obvious to everybody the CFTC was at the offices of JP Morgan while this was going on? They had investigators investigated JP Morgan while they were rigging the markets. It's hysterical. Either these are really pathetic, inept human beings, or they're in on the con. And as Bart Chilton told us, they're in on the con. He said, yes, we had all the dirt on JP Morgan, but it was a political decision not to pull the trigger. Well, if that's the way that laws are enforced in the United States, why do we do anything? Why do we pay our taxes? Why do we give our government any kind of money? If they're not going to be stewards of the law, why should we follow any law? I think we're getting to a point where we're not going to. We've had enough. And the corruption and criminality within our government has never been worse. So just keep that in mind. I did want to pull up the 20-year chart on silver. Yes, silver is 50% of its all-time highs in 1980 and 2011. 50% of its all-time highs. Whereas gold is double its all-time highs back in 1980 and 2011. Did you hear that? Yes, I am right below the flight path of Miramar. That's where Top Gun guys are flying over. It's really cool. They've got all kinds of really cool planes, and the one, I forgot what, an Osprey or something like that. The one that's a propeller plane, but the propellers go up and it's going to land like a helicopter. Saw one of those flying right over our hotel yesterday. It's really cool. Really cool. All right. So this has been my journey on silver in the last 20 years. I'm in it for about 22 years now. But look at this. Look at that chart. 20-year from, I remember silver was trying to break $5, and Ted Butler's like, there's dimes to the downside and dollars to the upside. Dimes to the downside and dollars to the upside. When he was talking about where the price can go in silver at like 350, and all the criminal shorts were already washed out and they couldn't short anymore, and they were about to start their run up. That's the game they play. They win going up and they win going down. So I remember breaking $5 was this big deal. Oh my God, we broke $5. Da da da. So breaking $50, the 2-time all-time high, is a big deal. And for all you chart people. But the problem is that, pricing on the COMEX is ridiculous. Let's just look at, although the futures, because it is not a delivery month next month, it's the month after, look at the futures and options. Why do they spike so much right before the delivery months? That's pure market manipulation. When you have months like this where there is no delivery, we're at the end of the March delivery month. Pretty much all contracts, about 50 million ounces have been delivered. There's another maybe 4 or 5 million, maybe 5 million left to be delivered to hit 55 million. That's probably what March will turn out. April is not a delivery month, and then May is. So we start this crap right here, how they manipulate the price, starts in probably mid to late April. And then we go through the whole rigmarole again, wash and repeat. But this coincided with hundreds of millions of ounces of physical silver coming out of the market. That's what we need. And we're going to see more of that in March. So I don't see much happening until March. Until April. And then May. May is the delivery month. Okay? Confusing enough for you? But let's look at who were the culprits. We know this was all bullshit trading. We did see Goldman Sachs, Jeff Curry, come out of Goldman Sachs saying, oh, no, there's no conspiracy. Why did he say that? Voila, they were the number one delivery of physical. They were the ones naked short. They're the ones who had to pony it up. It's their Haas account right here. 2,900 contracts on day one. So almost 15 million ounces on day one. That's why they were freaking out and had to put Jeff Curry out there to embarrass himself, saying that all the COMEX or the SLV silver, all the ETF silver, is what backs up the gigantic naked short of 400 million ounces. It was a lie, and if it's not a lie, some people need to go to jail. Clearly, Goldman Sachs is a dominant player in silver, and Jeff Curry should go to jail for trying to influence the price with lies. If it's not a lie, then BlackRock has a lot of problems on their hands. If they're the ones that are, according to Jeff Curry, they're the ones who are shorting silver, they have a lot of explaining to do to the SEC, to the DOJ, about why they claim in their prospectus that none of the silver is hedged. There are no derivatives attached to that silver. That's their claim. So we will see. We will see. And no, the authorized participants don't hold that amount of SLV shares in their hands. I checked. So Jeff Curry of Goldman Sachs was either lying or SLV, BlackRock, is in criminal jeopardy right now, if you ask me. So that's what's going on. Some of the other big names, and you want to know who the bad guys are. Goldman Sachs, obviously, we always know that. Deutsche Bank, although they haven't done much in silver, at least on the face of it, they're just. I mean, there's so much criminality going there. They just hide it all now. I think it was taken over by the German government. Macquarie, there's a lot of mining that goes on in Australia. Macquarie's an Australian bankster, so they try to hedge. It could be legitimate, could not. But they had to pony up 6,000 contracts. What's that? 3 million ounces of physical. So they're definitely in on the game, Macquarie. BMO Capital took some for the customer or for their house account. Interesting. Probably had to throw it into SLV. HSBC is the other big one right now. So we're looking at Goldman. JP Morgan's always the number one criminal. Goldman, HSBC, Credit Suisse has not much. Scotia Capital, who's supposed to be getting out of it, they just sold their vaults. They had pretty active month for their own house account. So that's, these are the top eight shorts. Bank of America has always been in the top eight, and they continue to be. Look at their house account. They took delivery of over 1,000 contracts. That's 5 million ounces. That's why. Why does a bank who has a special license to print money, why are they allowed even trading in the gold and silver market? Hey, I wish I could buy gold and silver and print my money for free, like Bank of America does. But is that really a safe investment for an FDIC-insured bank, a too-big-to-fail bank, as a matter of fact, that will get bailed out by taxpayer money? I think there's a lot of questions that need to be asked there. Morgan Stanley has been a rigger for, that's 4 or 5 already of the top 8. There's only 8. They collude back and forth. They send each other messages about when they're going to do it and why. JP Morgan, very active month as usual. Much more on the delivery side, but this is for customers. Who knows who the customers? Some suspect it's China. I do know that the derivative book, the hedging book for the U.S. Mint, I believe is run out of J.P. Morgan. Yes, the U.S. Mint hedges all its silver, and they don't close out their hedges when they run out of metal, which they're supposed to do. So that's probably one of the big naked shorts is the U.S. government, the U.S. Mint. What else we got? ABN AMRO, pretty big. Barclays, a very big rigger. That's there's Citibank. Now Citibank, of course, they're criminal in every single time you turn around. They've been slapped on the wrist so many times their wrists are all red. So that's a total of about 50 million ounces. 50 million ounces delivered. I think another 5 million are left based on this, which is right here. Its open interest is still, for March, is still, that's about 60 million ounces. No, sorry, 6 million ounces. So we're looking at a total of about 56 million ounces delivery, which is really good. It's one of the top 3, I think, delivery months. So yeah, that's cool. And it's going to happen again in May. So be aware of that. Let's see here. All right, I have a big discussion with Jenny Moonstone. Jenny Moonstone, from day one, just about, because she hated cryptos. She was getting these downloads that there are 4 elemental cryptos, is what she called them. Elemental coins, elemental cryptos. 4 that will basically provide the base of our systems going forward. Our electronic monetary system, the way that computer internet works, things like that. She identified one early on, that was Theta. Theta is the expansion of broadband, absolutely necessary for the functioning of all internet activity, including the Internet of Things. All cryptos cannot survive without Theta. I'm sorry, all you people who think I'm a Theta moon boy. No, I am a Theta moon boy, yes, but I'm not a Theta moon boy without doing my homework. And I did this homework very early on, and yes, none of these cryptos can survive without the implementation, broad implementation of Theta and the protocol and the sharing of broadband. It cannot happen, and countries are not, I repeat, are not spending the trillions of dollars necessary to expand broadband. So, but there is a solution. It is decentralized broadband. That's what Theta invented. They now have two patents. And the U.S. government doesn't just hand out patents willy-nilly. They only hand out patents when they know it's needed. And absolutely, Theta is needed. Ooh, there's a big one coming by. It's probably one of those Osprey. Is it Osprey or something like that? Plane. Anyway, so yes, there are 3 others. So Theta would be fire. This is Jenny Moonstone's, the way she explained it to me. Theta is fire. Water is the next one she has identified. I'll be talking about that this weekend. So join the private road. We're going to talk about it in our readings for the weekend and be posted on the private road. So if you want a scoop on what the second elemental is, join the private road. And then there's 2 left, wind and earth, which have not been identified yet. So by this weekend, this box is going to be filled in. It's really cool the way she thinks about this stuff and all her other readings on the road to Ruta. I mean, she nailed Jeffrey Christian just perfectly last week when I posted the puppet, the tasker, the gray one, and the facilitator. That is worth the price of admission to the private road at Road to Ruta right there. It was Jeffrey Christian, Stephen DeVoe, the facilitator or the tasker. He was tasked with controlling the financial markets from the 60s, 70s and 70s, 70s, 80s, and then he left in the 90s from the Fed, Boston. He was the guy who created the Road to Ruta comics. Really interesting stuff. Mitch Liu, the head of Theta. And if you're interested in Theta, go check that one out. And then, of course, Reggie Middleton, the guy that the SEC has literally strung up, and whether or not he will be vindicated. I mean, obviously, in other realms, in other lifetimes, in other spiritual realms, Reggie is an absolute hero. In the realm we live in, where the SEC is completely criminal and we are run by a criminal cabal, Reggie is the villain. So really interesting reading there. And then, of course, we talk a lot about the battle for silver, the Silver Knights. We're winning. It's all about what the metal that disappears from the warehouses, and that is going on. The next big run for metal will be in April. So make sure you got your physical in your own possession. If you want to get physical and you don't have it yet, send Andy Scheckman an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. He'll set you up. He's hooked up so many Road to Ruta members, and it's awesome. And then we're all pulling metal out of the system. Do your part. Pull physical metal out of the system. Don't play in their games. Don't play with SLV. That's their game. They will look what they did to Robinhood. They stopped people from buying GameStop because they were winning. The good guys were winning, and they stopped it. It was shocking that the Congress is bought and paid for by these guys on Wall Street. So it's not shocking that they got away with it. Who went to jail on that, by the way? They wanted to get the little tweeb who runs Robinhood, but they couldn't really get to him. The big guys don't go to jail. Who's behind the scenes? What about the guys at Citadel? Why aren't they all in jail? Why isn't Jamie Dimon in jail? Those are the guys who pay the bills for the congressman. I know, it's crazy. Crazy. So, yep, that's where we are. Lots going on. Again, we have live Q&A, all things Theta, me and Paige, at 12:30 Pacific time, and what's that, 3:30 Eastern time. Come check it out, all right? And join the Road to Ruta to find out this weekend what the second elemental is. The water coin. Here's your hint. It's not a blockchain. Ooh. This is Bix. I'll talk to you guys later.